Hey everyone, Gabriel here. You've probably noticed that Chaser Chat took a bit of a hiatus over the last 6 months or so, and I am beyond excited to be back. It won't just be my voice hosting shows now though. I've added an entire team of podcasters to the Chaser Chat roster, combined with an incredible support staff who will be helping out with editing, managing social media, graphic design, merch, and more. We'll be releasing 3 episodes per week from here on out. I'm placing a bet on Chaser Chat, and I'm putting my money where my mouth is. That's where you, the listener, come in. At the end of this episode, I'll run through all of the ways that you can support Chaser Chat, so please consider helping out if you enjoy the show. All right, that's enough of that. Let's get into the episode.
You couldn't hit your own ball bag with your own wrinkled cock.
You're listening to the Dead Chaser Society podcast on the Chaser Chat Network. Hello everyone, I'm Shane Adams and you're listening to the Dead Chaser Society podcast. Now, some of you may not be familiar with me or the show, so I'm going to use the first segment of this first episode to familiarize you with who I am, what I'm doing, and what you can expect going forward. I guess I'll begin with, I got a text from Gabriel Harbor about 6 weeks ago, and he asked if I would be interested in resurrecting the Dead Chaser Society show that I used to do, several years ago on YouTube, to be a part of a relaunch of the Chaser Chat platform that's going to feature many awesome personalities and podcasts, and of course I jumped at the opportunity. So here I am. My name is Shane Adams, for those of you that don't know. I have been chasing probably longer than most of you have been alive, if you don't know who I am. And this show is a vehicle that I created several years ago to blow off some steam about dumb things and weird crap that I see in the storm chasing world that just doesn't make sense to me. And I've always had a reputation my entire career in the weather and chasing world as being a person who will say what others only think. And that has gotten me in a lot of trouble over the years, but yeah, I continue to do it. So I have this reputation in some circles of being an asshole, a douchebag, a jerk-off. And it's not because I'm really any of those, because I'm not, but sometimes people get butthurt when you tell the truth or make a valid point or talk about things that they don't agree with.
You are a great big bag of dicks.
And I've never really let it bother me that anything I think offends someone, because I believe that a person's opinions, as long as they're honest, let them fly. The Dead Chaser Society is basically, it's called a podcast, but it's really more of a radio show. I'm just going to sit here with a microphone and just talk about various topics. Most will be weather related, chase related. Some won't be. I like to do regular day in the life topics too, because that's most of it. Even for storm chasers, most of your life is just regular, normal life. So I like to include a day in the life type things too. So there'll be a lot of that going on. In fact, in today's episode, I'm going to do a bit on drive-thrus and how to fucking use them properly. Because my God. But anyway, this is a 4th iteration of this show. It started off in 2014 as a live YouTube nightly thing that I did while drunk, kind of like a poor man's David Letterman of chasing, and it was called The Shane Adams Show, and then I changed that to Dead Chaser Society, and that name came from the fact that the day that I picked that name was the day that Robin Williams passed away, and he had a movie called Dead Poets Society, which I really thought was cool, so I just changed poets to chasers, and there you go. Nothing really cosmic about it. That's where the name comes from. Doesn't mean anything else, but the further we get into chasing and the more risk I see people taking every time there's a chase event, it seems to have more meaning as time goes on. But anyway, what can you expect from this show? Number one, and those of you that are familiar with my work or know me personally know that I'm basically a hack. Professionalism, there's not a drop of that in my being. I'm just a dumbass that kind of just fumbles his way through life, and that includes this podcast. So what you can expect on this podcast is probably a dumbed down, less produced, less polished version of all the other badass podcasts that you're going to enjoy on this new platform as it launches and goes on. But it's basically me and a microphone. I'm going to be talking about a lot of topics that other people probably wouldn't touch. I'm going to be saying a lot of things that other people probably wouldn't say. And I'm going to piss some of you off. And it's not fun doing shows like this when you know that something that you're going to talk about, that you feel strongly about, could actually fracture a relationship. And that's happened more than once over the years, and it's not fun. I don't enjoy it. I'm not here to shock jock my way into likes or subscriptions or to get people talking. I'm not here to just throw shit at the wall just to piss people off. The pissing people off thing is just a circumstance of a genuine effort by me to express thoughts and opinions about topics that I feel strongly about. And like I was saying earlier, sometimes I've had friendships get fractured because of things I've said. There are topics that I'm going to talk about on this show during this run on Chaser Chat that I know friends of mine disagree wholeheartedly with me on. But it's not disrespect to anyone. It's just me saying what I think. And there are going to be times when I'm not going to call anyone out by name. Names don't matter. It's not important. The topic, the points are what's important. There's not going to be any naming out, but people are going to know when I'm talking about them. You guys, the audience, you're going to know if I'm talking about something in particular, especially if it's current news. To sum it all up, what the Dead Chaser Society is going to be is a raw show, a real show by a dude who's just basically a hack with a microphone. So if you like to listen to people ramble about dumb shit, then tune in. Maybe you'll enjoy it. But either way, you need to come back every week and check out the brand new platform, the brand new Chaser Chat Storm Chasing Network, featuring multiple brand new podcast shows with brand new hosts. And there are so many new shows, ladies and gentlemen, that it's going to take months to debut them all. We're going to give you 3 new episodes of content each week, Gabe's, and then 2 new ones. And there are so many new shows, like I just mentioned, it's going to take at least a couple of months to get them all debuted so you're familiar with them and they all have at least 1 episode under their belts. So that's exciting news. Even if you don't like this show, keep coming back for the other ones because they're going to be high quality. I know some of the people involved in the other ones have got great reputations and they're actual professionals. So keep coming back every week to the Chaser Chat Storm Chasing Network for this show as well as every other one. And it's going to be a good time. And with that, let's head into the first topic of the first episode of Dead Chaser Society, drive-thrus and how to use them properly. If you're like me, a drive-thru is a quick and easy part of life that you do normally without thinking. 9 times out of 10, it's faster than going inside. There are exceptions. You have the Chick-fil-A double drive-thru line, and down here, some of the Whataburgers have them. And if I see 2 drive-thrus full of cars, fuck it, I'm going inside. But normally, a drive-thru is a simple 1 lane. It's an easy, fast way to get out and get your stuff and get home. And the best part is you don't have to get out of your car. And I'll be honest with you, how I dress leaving the house to go get food depends heavily on if I'm going inside the restaurant or if I'm just going to drive through. If I'm going inside to pick up food, then I will dress like a normal human being. But if I'm just driving through, I may put on an old pair of shorts. I might put on that t-shirt I wore yesterday. I might not spend a lot of time putting a brush through my hair. I don't really care. But the point is, the drive-thru, the way it was created, is an easy tool for quick and fast service, unless you get a moron that does not know how to do this simple function. There are only a few drive-thru rules. They're all very simple. We'll start with number 1. The first rule of the drive-thru is, if you don't know what the fuck you want, go inside. The drive-thru lane is not the place to sit there and scan the whole menu and decide for 20 minutes what you want. That's why when you go inside the restaurant, they've got the menu up above everything big and you can see it from every point in the restaurant. That way you can step the fuck aside from the line and take as long as you need to figure out what you want to eat. Don't ever get in a drive-thru if you don't know what you want, especially if you're not familiar with the restaurant. Rule number 2. If you have more than 4 people in the car, go inside. Go the fuck inside. Drive-thrus are supposed to be quick and fast, and if you're clogging it up because you're ordering for 19,000 people, forget it. Just go inside. Do the world a favor and go inside. And number 3, and perhaps this is the most important, and this is the one that sparked this diatribe, or whatever you want to call this. When you are in a drive-thru line, you pull up right behind the car in front of you. That's how a line works. You don't see people form a line. You don't see people forming a line and then there's a gap that's 50 feet and then there's another line starting behind it. That's not a line. That's 2 different fucking lines. A drive-thru line is a solid line of cars. The problem is some people, for whatever reason, I will never understand it. Maybe they think there's an invisible force field that's keeping their car back 10 feet from the car in front of them. I don't know. But they insist on keeping a full car length or more between themselves and the car in front of them, which, of course, as you can understand, it's an accordion effect. It's like a centipede. You fuck up one link and everything goes crazy. Now, because Miss Susie Fuckhole won't pull her car all the way up to the car in front of her, I'm leaning out of my window and I'm having to scream at the box that's 10 feet away, and I know the person on the other end of that is not appreciating that shit.
Stop yelling, you dick!
I have to yell because I can't pull up because she won't pull up. One car gets it wrong and we may as well all be inside. And I see it every day. I saw it this morning. Just pull the fuck up. You know what? You're going 0 miles an hour and you're taking your foot off the brake and you're rolling up like 1 mile an hour. You're not going to crash. There's not going to be an accident in the drive-through line. Pull up right behind that motherfucker. I don't want to see their license plate when I'm done stopping. That's how close I am to the car in front of me. That's how these lines are supposed to work. But so many people can't grasp that concept. It's simple shit, man. Especially if you live in a larger city where there are drive-thrus everywhere for everything. Learn how to use them. Transitioning to the next topic, we're going to talk about content theft. Now, this is something that's been around for a long time. The internet has made it very easy, and it's ironic because when you think about it, the very same things that allow content creators to create content and to possibly make money, even a living at it, is the same thing that allows people to steal it. So it's a snake eating itself situation, if you want to use that kind of metaphor. But that doesn't excuse it. And the problem is, first of all, let's talk about muggles. And for anyone who's not familiar with me or the words I use or how I use them, I use the word muggle to refer to anyone who's not a chaser or not weather savvy. Just a regular Joe Blow in the world. And muggles are the worst people at content theft because you call them out on something and they're like, what do you mean, bro? I just took a 5-second clip. It's only 5 seconds. Get over it. And that's another thing right there. You not only have the people who are thieving from you, but then you have a band of people, a certain sect that will jump in with the thief and jump on your ass for calling them out. And what do they always say? Oh man, it's just a 5-second video. Get over yourself. That's because you, sir or ma'am, and all the other low-hanging fruit in this universe that sadly make the YouTube engine turn, how fucking sad is that to admit out loud, that's all. You're like a yappy dog. You're incapable of seeing anything but the second you were just in and the one you're in now. You don't have any vision for the future. So when you see a 5-second clip, that's all you ever see. You don't think about what it took to make that 5-second clip exist. For starters, it's a clip. So guess what that means? That means it was taken out of a much larger piece of video. And how was that large piece of video recorded? On a video camera by a chaser who somehow got himself to that location. I bet that wasn't where he lived. What have you got here? You've got equipment, you've got travel, fuel, lodging, you've got all the shit that you guys as chasers and weather enthusiasts know goes into a chase to get a 5-second clip of video that these dickheads take like it's candy off a shelf with a sign above it that says, take one, dickhead, they're free. And those dickheads won't take one for free, they'll grab a handful because that's the kind of pieces of shit that they are. Low-hanging fruit, waste of space and air that unfortunately you and I have to share this planet with. Thievery is just one of those things, it's like religion. A lot of people are good people because they're afraid of eternal damnation and burning in hell. That's the same way thievery is. If it was hard to do, people wouldn't do it, but because it's so easy, everyone's doing it, much like chasing today. The sad part about it is it's easier to just either go out and create your own content or simply ask permission than it is to go around and take stuff. I had it happen to me, and it was another chaser that did it. And instead of having any shred of accountability, he went full double down, triple down, quadruple down, ended up blocking me, and I couldn't even have a conversation with the guy. And I'm like, dude, you can't sit there and tell me that, oh, I didn't know how to get a hold of you, I didn't know how to communicate with you. Yes, you did. Because when you went to my YouTube page and ripped off my shit without telling me, you passed by 3 or 4 different ways to communicate with me that are posted there. Through Twitter, through my actual email. There are ways to contact, and I'm just using myself as an example, but this projects to everybody. There are ways to contact content owners and creators without just grabbing their shit, and it's so easy to do, but you just don't give a shit. And I'm telling you, that's a goddamn shit excuse. I'm not going to put up with it, and neither should anybody else. Here's the deal. Either go get your own shit, or here, imagine how simple this solution is. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Ask permission. That is so easy. There wasn't a shred of remorse from this guy. None. Like I said, he doubled, tripled, quadrupled down the whole way, kicking and screaming, and I just happened to be shown a link by another person. They go, here, he gave you credit, check it out. And I'm like, that's not giving someone credit. That's getting caught. They're not the same fucking thing. Sure, my name's on there now, but it should have been from the start because you should have asked me. And here's the best part of all this. Dude, guess what would have happened if he'd come up to me and said, hey man, can I use this clip on my video? I would have said, sure, dude, just give me credit. And that would have been the end of it, and we all move on with our lives.
Maybe it's just me, maybe I just don't give a shit. I'm just saying he deserves a beat down.
But no, you chose the hard way, and that ended up being a little week-long fiasco that didn't need to be. The lesson here is just, if you want to use something, ask, man. Most people, myself included, will tell you, dude, it's cool. It's all right. Just give me permission. That's all people really want, is just recognition for their work and the effort that they put into the shit. I don't want some weather Twitter fuck taking my shit that I spent money and time and gas and wear and tear on my vehicle, all the shit that you have to do to go do anything in the world. And then, like I said earlier, they just see a little clip. Oh, what's it hurting, bro? It's 3 seconds. That's 3 seconds that took a lot of money to get. The next time you're thinking about grabbing it, if you're a muggle, I hope you're listening to this, and I hope it pisses you off, because if it pisses you off, you're the guilty party I'm talking about. Quit being an asshole. Quit doing shit like that. Ask for their goddamn permission. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. I try to get into the heads of people like this and figure out, what are they thinking? Do they think that no one's going to notice and they're just going to slide under the radar? Or even worse, maybe they do think people will notice and they just don't give a shit. But either way, once they're called out, there's no accountability whatsoever. And it's just like, man, you're just digging a deeper and deeper hole. And it's even doubly worse if you're a chaser taking stuff from another chaser. Please, folks, it's so simple. It's the honor system, which I know doesn't really hold much weight in this modern society, but basically doing the right thing and trusting that everyone next to you, to your left, to your right, front of you, behind you, above you, below you, whatever, trusting that they too will do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because you're being threatened with eternal fire damnation or because someone told you they would do something horrible to you, because it's the right thing to do. You shouldn't have to be rewarded for being a good human being. You should just be one because that's what you're supposed to do. It's just like anything in life. Do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, not because you're getting paid or rewarded for it or any of that crap. It's just horseshit. So basically, to wrap this segment up, thieves suck. And the worst part about it is it's not necessary. It's easy. It's just like burglars in real life. Isn't it easier to just go get a job than to steal, because you've got to do all this prep work and all this casing and all this other bullshit? It's like going on a hurricane chase to do something illegal when you could have just gotten a job, made your own money, and just went on your way like a normal human being would. I have no sympathy for thieves of any kind. The lone exception maybe being if you get caught and you actually are truly remorseful and feel bad about it and vow to, go forward doing better, going to do better going forward, maybe. But most people, like in my case, here we are months later, never even reached out to me to say anything. No apology, nothing. And like I said earlier, my name is on his video now, and I'm giving credit, but that's not giving credit. That's getting caught. They're not the same. Don't do something because you got caught. Do it because it's the right motherfucking thing before you get caught. And you know what? If you're a thief, I guess you're a thief. But here's what's funny, is the very first thing I said in this segment is the same aspects of the internet that allow content creators to thrive are the same aspects that allow content thieves to thrive. It's like a duality of weird shit there. Moving on to the final topic of today's episode, I'd like to talk about the differences between getting started in chasing now versus 30 years ago. And when I first came up with the idea to talk about this particular topic, I was going to mold that into a complete episode on its own, and I called it the format dilemma, which was basically describing how I think a lot of chasers, or new chasers who would be chasers actually, they look at the landscape of chasing today and how crazy it is, and they think they have to have all this shit to be able to even qualify to start chasing. And I'm here to tell you, you don't need any of that crap. And I can only imagine how overwhelming it must be if you're someone, especially if you're a young person, still impressionable. You look at the landscape of chasing, you're like, oh my God, that kid's been chasing 2 years. He's already got a YouTube audience, a big YouTube channel. He live streams everything. He's got all these cameras and all this expensive gear, and he's always out chasing, so he must have money. So he chases professionally. I would hate to be a new chaser who just wanted to go out and see tornadoes, who would look at something like that and think, I've got to be that to be able to chase. No, you don't have to be any of that. The reason, and I'm only talking to those very rare few, because I don't think there's many of them out there. But if there are a few of you out there who are thinking about chasing and you just want to go out and see tornadoes, you're not trying to make it about money, you're not trying to make it about an audience, you're trying to make it about your experience in living a lifelong dream, I'm talking to people like that. I'm telling you, don't look at the landscape of chasing and think you've got to be that, because that will do nothing but discourage you, because it's ridiculous right now. All you need to become a chaser is really 3 things. Number 1, you need a vehicle, because you can't just horse and buggy just ain't going to cut it, and you're not that fast. So you're going to need a car or some other kind of vehicle. The second thing you're going to need is you're going to have a flexible schedule or be independently wealthy, However, the circumstance is that gets you there, you're going to have to be able to travel and get to storms and be there when the action happens. And the last thing you need is simply the desire to do it. If you don't have that, it doesn't matter how much you have of the other two, you're just not going to go. So those three simple things are really all you need to become a storm chaser. Now, if you want to be a chaser and you aspire to be the live streaming king or the chase everything guy or the I've got a giant YouTube channel guy and I've got an audience of adoring fans guy, if you want to strive for that, there is nothing wrong with that. Hell, everyone has wants and desires. I have wants and desires. Not necessarily that. We all have the things that we want in life. And it's okay to want that. And don't let the fact that you don't have it now stop you from starting to live that dream of being a chaser. Get out there and use what you have now. Get your feet wet. Start to learn. And then over time, if you want that big chase rig, you can build yourself up to that. If you want that high-tech, stupid, over-the-top expensive camera gear, you can work your way up to that. But don't just sit on your hands forever because you don't have it now thinking that you can't get started because you don't possess that stuff, because that's just not true. I've been doing this 28 years and I don't have any of that stuff. I don't have high-tech gear. In the camera that I shoot, they're probably going to discontinue it in a couple of years. That's just the way it works with me. The point is, you don't need everything that you're seeing when you log on to Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever social media you're subjected to on a daily basis. What you see on that is not what you have to be a storm chaser. I already told you the three things you need to be a storm chaser, and that is all you need. It doesn't matter if you don't have a 4K camera. You don't need that crap. That's stupid. You know what? If you want to get one eventually, that's fine. But you don't need to go out and buy a 4K camera if you're a rookie. That's the dumbest shit ever. You talk about putting the cart way before the horse, like a mile before the horse. Don't do that. Get something that's workable, that's affordable, that will get you by now. Learn the craft. And if you start learning the craft, you're going to start improving. And as you improve, then you can build yourself up to bigger and better if that's what your ultimate end goal is. But I hate seeing people that post pictures that were obviously, they don't have a professional camera. They're just a person that loves weather. They go out, they use the camera they can afford, and they shoot pictures of clouds, of storms, tornadoes, whatever. I hate it when I see someone post those and they go, you know what? It really sucks. People tell me my stuff's not good enough, this and that, and I just don't even want to chase anymore. I don't want to post anymore. I hate seeing that shit. Number one, anyone who's criticizing someone because their pictures aren't quality enough, go fuck yourself. I don't care if you're the greatest chaser in the world. Go fuck yourself. If you're criticizing people like that, that's not helping. That's deterring them. That's a shit thing to do. If I didn't know better, I'd say you were scared of future competition and you're trying to thin the herd. Don't listen to that. All you need is what you can afford. Go out there and have fun. The thing about chasing today that I see in the eyes of chasers every time I look around is they don't know what fun is. This is not fun to them. Chasers today, this is a job. You're taking food off my table. I hear that a lot. Blah, blah this, blah, blah that. Oh, poor me. I'm so tired. I'm so worn down. Oh, man, we're martyrs out here just doing it for you guys. To their faithful audience of low-hanging fruit. Is anyone having fun? I'm having fun. You know why I'm having fun? Because I'm out there in my car by myself listening to badass motherfucking tunes, going to a spot where I think I might see a tornado, and if I do, I'm going to hit the record button, I'm going to record that, then I'm going to drive back home with that on my fucking camcorder, I'm going to download or upload that video, and I'm going to add to my library. It's a body of work that is a lifelong passion. That's what I do. There's no stream involved, there's no audience involved, there's nothing else involved, just me, my vehicle, and my car. Or me, my vehicle, and my camcorder, and of course the road and the storm. That's it. And I love it. And I don't think a lot of chasers are having the time of their lives anymore because they've made it such an obligation through work and money. That's all it is now. It's a fucking job. And the only thing I can think of that's worse than missing out on your dream because you have to go to work is when your dream becomes work and stops being your dream and just is work. Now all you're doing is working and there is no dream. Sad. But anyway, before I wrap this up, I would like to thank you all for tuning in for this first episode on the mighty Chaser Chat Storm Chasing Network. Don't forget to come back every week. New episodes, new content, brand new shows, brand new hosts, lots of cool personalities. So there's a lot of cool reasons to come back to Chaser Chat in the future and check out all the brand new content that is coming your way soon. As for me, I'm Shane Adams. This is Dead Chaser Society. Thank you for listening. Catch you on the next one.
Arrivederci, bitches.
Thanks for listening. If you're not already subscribed, hit that button right now. Then make sure notifications are turned on so you never miss an episode. We need your help keeping Chaser Chat on the air, and there are some awesome ways for you to support the show. The best way is by becoming a subscriber on Patreon. You'll gain access to monthly bonus content like the WX Drama Report, featuring myself and a rotating cast of co-hosts. There's also a 1-hour live expert Q&A with Dr. Cameron Nixon and Trey Greenwood from the Convective Chronicles YouTube channel. There's even a deal where you can bundle all of the bonus content together with a t-shirt or a hoodie, which is pretty fantastic if I do say so myself. If you just want to buy some Chaser Chat swag, check out the merch store for t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, and more. Can't support the show financially? There's still plenty of ways that you can help. Leave a rating and a review on your favorite podcast app, like and comment on YouTube, and share this episode on your favorite social media platform. Links to everything I just mentioned are in the episode description, and your support would mean the world to all of us at Chaser Chat. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you on the next episode.